So we're comparing the new Galaxy A13 5G versus the Galaxy A53 5G. So should you save your money and get the A13, or is the A53 really worth $200 more? You get 4 gigabytes of RAM, 64 gigabytes of storage for the Galaxy A13. The A53 comes with 6 gigabytes of RAM, 128 gigabytes of storage. As far as the screen goes, you get a 6.6 inch 720 by 1600 LCD display on the A13, 90 Hz refresh rate, and then on the A53, you get a 6.5 inch Super AMOLED display with 120 Hz refresh rate, 2400 by 1080 resolution. Weird thing is you can watch YouTube videos up to 1080p resolution on the A53, 1440p on the cheaper A13, which only has a 720p display. So to me, that doesn't really make sense. Then you get HD playback resolution on Netflix for the A13 5G, full HD playback on the A53 5G. It's going to be kind of hard to tell from this video, but the colors and screen brightness are a little bit brighter on the Galaxy A53, but that sort of makes sense considering the price difference. They're also using different types of technology, so the screen colors are going to look a little bit different as well. Just know in person, the A53 screen has a little bit better viewing angles, and it just feels like a little bit better or higher quality screen. And battery life is actually really good on both of these devices. The Galaxy A13 lasted over 10 hours during my battery drain test, over 12.5 hours for the Galaxy A53 in that same test, which is going to be right up there with some of the best as far as battery life goes that I've tested on the channel. Obviously, there's a lot of variables when it comes to battery life, but both of these have plenty of juice to get you through most of the day with normal usage. Quite a bit more, maybe even 2 days once you turn the screen brightness down. Obviously, it's going to depend on what kinds of stuff you're going to be doing, but overall, really good battery life on both. If you want the one with better battery life, you'll want to go with the A53. Now, performance-wise, you get an Exynos 1280 in the Galaxy A53, MediaTek Dimensity 700 processor in the Galaxy A13 5G. Geekbench scores on these two, not too surprising here, quite a bit better on the A53, almost twice as high scores versus the A13. And yeah, you're gonna be able to tell it's a little bit faster just moving around the software, doing multitasking. But unless you have these right next to each other, I don't know if most people would realize that. Of course, I think most people know typically the more money you spend, the better performance you're gonna get. You're also gonna get better gaming performance on the more expensive A53. You're gonna get HD graphics, high frame rates on games like PUBG Mobile. Asphalt 9 plays pretty smooth as well. There didn't seem to be any glitches or overheating issues on either phone. Maybe just getting a little bit warm after playing for a while, but overall pretty good job with gaming on both phones really, and better than I expected on the A13. Now, fingerprint scanners are going to be a little bit different. You get it right there on the power button for the A13 and then built right into the screen on the A53 5G. So I think it's going to come down to personal preference on which one is better. In my testing, the A13 might unlock a skosh faster, but it's pretty close. Now, software wise, they're going to be very similar. Android 11, One UI 3.1 on the Galaxy A13 5G, Android 12, One UI 4.1 on the A53. So since the A53 is on a little bit newer software, there are going to be some differences. Overall though, it's going to feel very similar. And good thing is you're going to get pretty good software support on both phones as well. I don't think you can really go wrong with either one as far as software goes. If you've used a Samsung phone within the last year or two, both of these are going to feel very familiar. You're also going to get a headphone jack with the A13. You don't get that with the A53. Now, when it comes to the speakers, the A13, it's got decent sound that comes from the bottom, but up by the earpiece, you can barely hear it, so it's sort of unbalanced. The A53, on the other hand, is going to sound quite a bit louder and just better overall compared to the A13. It might be kind of hard to tell from this video, but here's a quick sample of each, just to give you an idea of what to expect. Now the Galaxy A53, being the more expensive device, is going to have better cameras. You get 4 cameras on the back of the Galaxy A53, triple camera setup on the A13. Although I will mention, both of these are a little slow as far as shutter lag goes. When you hit the button on the camera app, it takes a little bit longer than I would like as far as when it actually takes the photo, but I feel like that's pretty common on Samsung phones. Good thing is, if you have pretty good lighting, you're gonna get decent photos and video from both of these, just a little bit better on the A53. Then you can shoot up to 1080p 30 frames per second on the A13, 4K 30 frames per second on the A53. And then you get a 64 megapixel rear camera on the A53 versus 50 megapixel on the A13. You also get a little bit better front-facing camera on the A53 versus the A13, but here's a few samples of each just to give you an idea of what to expect. So that's about all the time I've got for this one. Hopefully this video gave you a little closer look at the Galaxy A53 5G and the A13 5G. I'll be doing a couple other comparisons with the A53, so you'll definitely want to look out for those. And if you came to my channel for tablet comparisons, yeah, I've got a lot more of those coming as well. So if you've made it this far into the video, you may want to say thanks by subscribing, and don't forget to give a thumbs up if this video was helpful. This is Brian from Fishbee Productions. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.